Today we're going to talk about fat. Now, there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of false ideas about fat, but fat is the most important nutrient. Why? Why would fat be the most important nutrient? And why would fat be so demonized in the mainstream medical industry? You know, the Rockefellers and Big Pharma. Why would fat be an enemy? Well, a lot of people aren't going to say this, but when you take food in its natural state, let's just say you've got a piece of grass-fed, grass-finished meat, which is high in fat, and you cook it, you destroy it, you completely rape the nutrients out of it, and now it's just a piece of rubber. What happens is all of the enzymes and all of the nutrition and all of the healthy gut bacteria and all of the minerals inside the meat and all of the vitamins inside the meat, the natural probiotics inside the meat, get destroyed. The fat becomes destroyed and it becomes very, very dangerous then once consumed. When that food goes into your body, it doesn't digest very well. Now, where I'm coming from is the position of something that's called the Primal diet. Now, fat, in truth, when it's not cooked, is the most beneficial nutrient there is. Your organs, your major organs, your brain, is 80% fat. Your heart is fat. It's all made up of fat. And this is the nutrient, in my opinion, that many people are lacking, When fat is consumed raw, when the meat is consumed raw, the cheese is consumed raw, and the cream and the milk is consumed raw, it is the most beneficial nutrient that you can put in your body. Fat acts like a sponge. It acts like a lubricant in the, let's just say, the pipe system in your body. And anything inside your body, let's just say the pollutants, the poisons, the chemicals, the toxins, the metals, especially the metals, the cadmium, the barium, the strontium, whatever they are spraying in the skies now through the chemtrails, the same ingredients, they're spraying the same ingredients in the sky that are in these. And fat, especially fat from raw cheese, raw milk, raw meat, raw honey, and raw cream is going to come into your body. And not only do all those fats, by the way, another cool benefit is that they protect you against electromagnetic radiation, but they are going to come in there and they are going to pull out all of the metals. It acts as a sponge. It's like a magnet for all the metals, and then they pass through your body and you just excrete them. That's why fat is so demonized. They want people scared of fat, especially raw fat. That's what they want people scared of, because if you are consuming high levels of grass-fed, grass-finished fat, the nutrient is going to go into your body and it's going to act as a lubricant. It's going to clean all the pipes and the organs inside your body, and it's going to at the same time pull all the metals out. Now, a lot of people are scared of a raw diet, and I know I've mentioned this many times on multiple videos, but there is no need to be afraid of the raw diet. The number one reason why people are afraid is because they think that they are going to get parasites. That's the number one reason that people are afraid, or they're going to get some sort of food poisoning. There is no scientific evidence to back this up. Nobody's ever got food poisoning. People get food poisoning from cooking their food medium rare. Nobody's got food poisoning from eating something raw, grass-fed, grass-finished. And if they have got food poisoning, maybe it's 100% got to do with the condition of the animal that they are buying their food from. Maybe they tried to eat a raw egg from a conventional grocery market, you know, that I won't name, but they bought it from there, and then they ended up having food poisoning and stuff, and then they got problems after drinking that raw egg. But it definitely was not a organic, grass-fed, grass-finished egg on a chicken that's been raised on a farm and eating grass and bugs all of its life. It's probably from a chicken that's been absolutely brutalized through its livelihood, and it's been eating corn, soy and grains and stuff like that. Now, going back to fat, the reason why I'm saying it's the most important nutrient, I've covered how it pulls all the metals and stuff like that out of your body, which a heavy metal overload is 100% the reason of people accumulating certain, let's just say, diseases, you know, the big C. Okay, big one, absolutely massive one. You know, it's all got to do, that has got to do, and with a heavy metal overload. That's what it is right there. It is a heavy metal overload. Your body is loaded with food additives, fluoride from the water. It's loaded with fast food. It's loaded with all of the plastics that are coming out of the seed oils. Seed oils are plastic. It's literally plastic. You're eating melted plastic. The corn oil, the canola oil, the rapeseed oil, the sunflower oil, the vegetable oil, it's all plastic. It's loading your body with plastic and all sorts of poisonous metals that you just don't want in there. On top of that, the nutrition that is being loaded with metals by the government, the hierarchy of the government, the very top of the pyramid, you know, because the lower ones, they have no idea that this is even happening. It's the very, very top, you know, the top of the elite pyramid that are doing this. They are poisoning the food and filling the food with the same ingredients that are inside the jabby jabbies. Another thing that fat, this is a really important thing now, fat helps you with is it protects you against electromagnetic synthetic radiation. Okay, now that is the radiation coming from the towers, the radiation coming from the cell phones, the mobile phones, the radios, the radars, the satellites, the network cables, the power lines, the cell phone towers, the Wi-Fi, the 4G, the 3G, and the 5G, and the Bluetooth, all of that radiation that is coming from there. If you're somebody who is consuming raw milk, raw meat, raw honey, raw cream, it acts as a force field for that kind of stuff because it's pulling the metals out. And also when it comes to a heavy metal overload, this is a really important point that I want to bring to the forward. If your body's loaded with heavy metals, Project HARP, this technology that they say that it's a diversion, really, they are modifying the weather with it, that's absolutely 100% true. They get the towers send a radio beam up into the ionosphere, and it disrupts the frequency of the ionosphere, and they can make the weather do whatever they want with it, whatever frequency that they are emitting up there, because they know the frequency that they have to make the towers vibrate to create rain, to create earthquakes, to create volcanic eruptions, to create a shift in their continental plate. And the craziest thing is, by the way, now that we're talking about HARP again, when they send the radio beam up into the ionosphere, it ricochets down 10 times. So it hits the ionosphere and then it ricochets down 10,000 times stronger, and they aim it to whichever country they want, and then bang, you know, they've got a flood, they've got a economic collapse, whatever they want to create. But also what I was saying was their HARP and the frequencies that are coming from the towers are amplifying the heavy metals that are going into the body from the food. Do you understand? So you have to be aware of all these things that they are doing. And that's where fat comes in. 100% grass-fed, grass-finished fat that you bought from a farm, and meat that you've ordered from a farm, that's where fat comes in. It protects you against all that electromagnetic radiation, and I thought that's a really, really important point. And anybody who's had a lot of these, you know what I mean? I think people know what I mean when I say that. You know, you need plenty of fat, because fat is going to come in there and it's going to pull everything out. Another thing now, I've covered fat and how it pulls out all of the metals and the plastics and the polymers and the toxins and the poisons and the chemicals, and it protects you against electromagnetic radiation. Another great tool for pulling out heavy metals and plastics and polymers is shilajit. Now, this is a superfood. It's not a supplement. I'm completely against supplements. All of those vitamin A, B, C, D that are made in a Rockefeller lab. I'm completely against all of that stuff. What I do promote though are superfoods. So you've got things like dragon's blood, you've got things like shilajit, you've got things like, you know, six mix mushroom, all of those things are absolutely great at pulling metals out of the body and, you know, working the same as fats. They're just going to support the fats because the fats are going to be pulling all of that stuff out and you're going to be digesting that really, really easily. And then shilajit's going to come in and do exactly the same, you know, and shilajit is, I think, 88% fulvic acid, which means it's just, it pulls toxins out of the body so quickly. But obviously you want to take, if you are interested in the primal diet, you want to do it slowly. You want to do it really slowly and stuff. So then when you've got all that fat in your system, you're detoxing at a steady rate. You know, when I did the primal diet, I went completely primal, and at the beginning, and I was detoxing absolutely rapidly, and it was insane. It was insane. I could literally feel all of the poisons coming out of my body, and it was absolutely incredible. And that was 7 months ago. 7 months, and I'm still here, you know what I mean? So all of that stuff that people are telling you about, you know, don't eat raw meat, don't drink raw milk, don't eat raw cream, don't eat raw cheese, you know, don't eat raw butter and raw beef tallow, and all of this rubbish that people are saying, it's because they want to scare you from fat. Fat doesn't make you fat. When fat's cooked and when fat has been loaded with the same chemicals that are coming in the jabbies and they're putting it into the synthetic food that you're buying from the grocery market, that makes you fat. Natural fat doesn't make you fat. It fuels you, it keeps you energetic, and it stimulates the central nervous system at a steady rate. You don't get a huge spike like of adrenaline. It keeps you very, very calm and very, very sharp. I've noticed that, you know, ever since I've been on this primal diet, I've been as sharp as a cat. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I hope all of you do not underestimate the power of fat and do not be scared of it, and make sure that if you're somebody who wants to try the primal diet, just start slowly. Like, just start slowly. You want to slowly eat a couple of pieces of raw meat, and what's going to happen is you are going to feel invigorated. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's the side effect, invigoration. That's what you're going to feel. The side effect is incredible amounts of energy, incredible amounts of testosterone. Those are the side effects, you know what I mean? So if you're not interested, so if those side effects scare you, then I wouldn't try the primal diet. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time.